Hi all, today I'm making a PC tier list. I have wanted to make one for a long time and I now found time for it. I'm a close to 3rd evolution player and I've been playing the game for quite a while with breaks. It sucks that the population is as low as it is, so hopefully this video gains some traction and it's able to get some new players into the game, which you can help make happen by liking the video. With that out of the way, let's get into it. Okay, first up is Acro. I do like the Acro, a lot of people do. But it sadly best fits in the C tier, as it's situational. The main things holding it back are the huge crit zone on its head, lowest HP out of all the tyrants at 3000, the slowest eating animation, and a narrow, hard to land bite hitbox. On the other hand, it's the fastest of tyrants and has the most useful, in my opinion, secondary attack, being the Stomp. This makes it hard to ass-ride, which better human players do by standing behind the bite hitbox and safely farming down the tyrant with their guns. Acro does well in specific situations, such as in narrow corridors where it can guarantee a stomp hit. But what it can also do is snatch a human out of the group and run through that group with its big trample hitbox, which insta-kills. Then run off behind the wall while your team finishes off that group. You could say that in this scenario of the human group being in some corridor, the other tyrants would also do well. The thing is that they in fact do worse. All of them can obviously snatch someone and use trample damage, but Acro's trample is simply the biggest hitbox and it's considerably easier to land than other tyrants. Acro's secondary is also the only one that can one-shot humans from full health at close range. That is something that the Rex Tail Swipe or Spinosaurus can do, but we'll get into that in just a second. One thing that might also be worth saying is that the Stomp can do huge, ridiculous, sometimes knockback, which is something we need to establish early on in this tier list, as knockback is just a prevalent and frankly quite disgusting mechanic in this game. The fact that it has it means the Acro can knock people off cliffs and other drop-offs on certain maps, which further proves its place is in fact in the C tier. Next playable is Rex, the poster child of Primal Carnage. Rex is in my opinion the best tyrant, possessing the fastest eating time, the biggest bite hitbox and the best roar buff. Rex can butcher human groups by running in and through them, of course with team support. It's good at that since its eating time is quick, which means it can snatch someone, then return for more and repeat. Its secondary attack, the tail swipe, is extremely useless, the worst tyrant secondary. It only works when some dogshit level 1 account, Puffy, attempts to get behind you and stay stupidly close to your tail, which is, yeah, rarely. You might ask why is Rex not higher. See, this comes down to the issue of tyrants in this game. The whole class is based on positioning and team following them. If one of those needs is not met, the tyrant is going to die easily. Skillful use of the bracing mechanic allows tyrant players to make better plays and mitigate those drawbacks a bit. They can now soak up gunfire by bracing and going in the open to bait shots. The humans are then in a difficult situation because they can expect the smaller dinos to be flanking them any minute, but they can't really ignore the tyrant either because it's going to start eating them once it gets close enough. The bracing allows for clutch plays at low HP too. I believe the tyrant class is close to perfection gameplay wise, in a way where we don't really want them any weaker or any stronger at the moment. So yeah, Rex goes into the B tier. Next up, Spino, the most tanky of tyrants. After playing it for a while, I gotta say it does come close to Rex in terms of power, but I think there are certain things that hold it back. First of all, the secondary is useless against anything that is behind you. Yeah, you can sometimes stretch the hitbox of the close swipe and hit things you shouldn't have hit, but still. The close swipe does, I believe, 110 damage and knockback, meaning it doesn't one-shot people from full HP. Also, like Acro, Spino's bite hitbox is narrow and is stretched in front of it, but it's much easier to land. I think that Spino does its job of being a tank well. Its roar is also decent, as it gives armor to your team so they can survive and get away with a little bit more than they normally would. It goes to the B tier, but is slightly lower than the Rex. Entering the bruisers, the first one is Carno. Now I'm gonna say I'm not some big bruiser guy. I think there are more interesting gameplay styles in the game, which you will learn why I think that soon. So, the Carno. It's been in the game since the beginning, but only relatively recently it was joined by Cerato and Pachy. It has 1000 HP, does insane damage with charge, it has a headbutt, secondary and a normal fairly quick bite, which you're not gonna be using much. Both the headbutt and bite are very spammable, meaning you can do something like hitting a charge, then immediately stopping and spamming for example the headbutt to finish someone off. This is an execution combo that kills a human in a quick succession. What Carno excels at is just running through concentrated groups of humans, best if gathered in some sort of corridor. So maps like Transfer, Verdant, Docks. On the more open maps it gets shredded pretty easily. It's large, easy to hit and unarmored. Its roar, which makes it heal after damaging enemies, makes it able to survive run-throughs better. But it also deals less damage after roaring, so it's a trade-off. I'm not gonna put it in situational, in fact it is quite strong, due to the disgusting things you can do with it. You can tap just ASD to turn faster while holding shift and make it easier to hit charges. You can also run through, then keep running into a wall while maintaining your momentum, to then wait for them to line up perfectly and hit them again. For those reasons, Carno will go into strong, as its combination of damage, mobility and durability it gains from its roar can be very effective. The second bruiser is Cerato, and let me tell you, this thing is strong. Cerato, as of right now, just got charged. Its HP went down from 1600 to 1500. Its bite has a slightly slower animation, but it's not really all that noticeable. However, most importantly, it also received better turning. It feels more agile now, and honestly I'm surprised how much better this thing feels. The Cerato is the brawler. Its whole front is armored, meaning it takes less damage from most guns as long as it keeps its front towards the opponent. It has a big bite hitbox and a tail swipe that is actually useful and strong on like Rex's. It swipes its tail to the front, you can sort of aim this attack with your camera. The tip of the tail does crit damage, so if you hit a human with the very tip of the tail, they will take a literal ton of damage. Though I'm not sure of the exact number, but I do think if you hit that and just one extra bite, you one-shot them from full HP. This makes Cerato extremely powerful in close quarters combat, where the humans don't have much chance to kite it and shoot it from multiple directions. However, it also does fall off when humans are able to do that. It's the slowest of bruisers. Its roar makes it able to bite while running and restore its stamina by biting enemies. This improves its ability to have prolonged fights, as on top of the stamina and HP regeneration it gets from killing a human with its bites, it also restores some stamina from just hitting people. Cerato works the best when it sticks next to tyrants, and has good engages with most of the team. Not necessarily in smaller skirmishes. This means its niche is basically being a tyrant's goon bot that waits to get tyrant roar buff and only then goes in and kills everyone, with not much counterplay. Cerato with both Spino and Rex buff at the same time is abhorrent. You can usually say GG if a good player is playing a Cerato in that scenario. It's just over. I'm actually not sure whether I put it in A or S tier. It sort of fits the criteria for S tier. To be in the S tier, a playable basically has to be both brain dead, easy to play and universally too strong. But the Cerato has the element of like falling off in certain situations, namely with no tyrant support. Meaning like there's some situationality to it. I'll actually put it in the S tier because its 1v1 potential is also very disgusting, to be fair. It does the best against Pyro, and does well against other classes, but falls off against scientists with speed drinks, because she can just get the speed boost and kite it. That being said, the fight is mostly over if the Cerato lands a tail swap and bite on anyone, because the tail swap knocks them back, which then allows it to get a follow-up bite. I think it's overtuned right now. Okay, so forget everything I just said. Cerato was buffed in the time of me making this video. It's now broken bullshit OP. Enjoy the game. Next up, another S tier, which is Pachy. This playable is really brain dead, and hear me out on this one. It just got buffed for no reason, to survive a double barrel shot. It got buffed after it has been one of, if not the most disgusting thing in the game for a while, like at least several months. The reason it's too strong is the stupid amount of knockback it does, combined with its stats. Both the Pachy player or the human player being destroyed by the Pachy do not know when it will launch the human all the way to the fucking southern hemisphere or whatever. Its knockback is random like that. I think it's a coding issue in the game or something. The Pachy is extremely mobile for a bruiser. It is one of, if not the most dominant playable in a 1v1 scenario. Even better than Cerato. That can at least be kited. If a Pachy decides it wants to kill you, it just will. You can't do much about it. Regardless of the environment, if it's closed space or an open space, it will charge through you and attempts at kiting it will not matter. Because it has the toxic slide attack when it holds down crouch while running. I think the Pachy is genuinely unhealthy for the game, and deserves nerfs. I've seen Pachy butcher a group of 4 or 5 humans by itself and survive with little to no support. I played it and I found it extremely brilliant and fun. But it being fun to play absolutely doesn't mean it's fun to play against or good for the game. I think a big reason why it's this strong is its roar. It's extremely reliant on its roar, because it's basically a big steroid ability where after roaring the Pachy magically becomes much faster, jumps higher and attacks faster. Something that can free-shot a human quickly while having 800 HP and then get out to safety with its insane mobility is just not very well balanced. As here it is. Okay, we got to the flyers, let's look at the Terra first. This is the most unique playstyle in the game. Terra is designed to be the aerial ambusher. Its whole thing is to grab you when you don't expect it and throw you into the void or just carry you away and drop you. Even then, it surprisingly allows for some serious skill expression. Anyone can do something as dumb as grabbing some human that is aiming at something else and not even paying attention. In fact, the worst thing in the game is dying to a level 1 account Terra with the default skin in that way. You know, the player put like no skill into that, you simply got punished for not having eyes at the back of your head for the full duration of the match. Being good at Terra means conserving stamina by learning to maintain momentum without using up stamina by holding shift. Finding pyro bombs, thinking outside the box, finding good angles to ambush. You can even get kills by pecking, as Terra peck does 50 damage, so it free-shots people. Very often you can dive into a fight where the humans already got hurt and just kill someone with the peck. Also, since I mentioned pyro bombs, that's probably the most fun thing in the game. Basically, if you grab a pyro as Terra, doesn't matter if he's using the flamethrower or the flameslammer, he will explode after hitting the ground from a distance that will kill him. So you basically grab a pyro, fly high up, try to conceal the fact that you even grabbed the pyro to begin with. You can hide behind a hill or any obstruction really, while gaining height. Then you drop him onto a concentrated group of humans, possibly healing on some medkits or something. You can like get 5 kills at once this way, sometimes even more. It's absolute joy. I won't put it in C tier, even if it's kinda map dependent. I think it's balanced. In my opinion, Terra is in a good spot right now. The other flyer class is the Tupa. The Tupa has always been a dumb and annoying playable. It getting the dive bomb attacks secondary made that even more prominent. But finally it got nerfed to the ground and it's just dog shit now. It never feels like it has enough stamina, most of the time you're on low stamina while playing this thing. But it's not like this is a bad thing, out of all the classes in the game this one probably deserves this fate the most, and it should stay that way. Until they get an idea to finally rebrand Tupa from its disgusting knockback based playstyle, or just straight up decide to remove it, this class shouldn't be touched and should stay as is in my opinion. There is not much else to say on this one, D tier, but don't play it. Moving on to the Predators class, and we start that off with the Novaraptor, which has remained a solid playable over the years. It foreshots humans with its primary attack. The attack is very spammable, so you can basically hold left click, run into people and butcher them. This sounds simple, but in reality you still only have 360 HP. This is considerably more compared to some other playables of similar size, but you still need to be careful as it's easy for you to die. Get hit with a net gun, you get one shot. Make a mistake and approach pyro from the front, you get one shot by the saw. You get two shot by snipers. Basically, there is not much room for error here. But having that low HP has its pros. Small frame and nimble movement allows even the worst Nova players to survive surprisingly long in the middle of human groups because people just can't hit them reliably. That means you get a few seconds to finish a target off and hopefully run. Novaraptor's roar allows it to enter the state of frenzy. This prevents stamina regen. You want to use this roar on full stamina and use the stamina you're left with for gap closing. Once you do, you attack very quickly and this lets you obliterate humans. You're vulnerable to kiting after roars, so keep that in mind. But if you use it right, the frenzy can give you a lot of kills at once. It's mostly useful in tight spaces against concentrated groups. The pounce is just stupid. It's literally only useful when someone is not looking and lets you secure the kill if you pounce on full stamina and the human doesn't have allies nearby. If it was removed, not much would change in Nova's gameplay. So yeah, the Novaraptor has always been a solid pick and it remains that way. Next predator is Ovi. Ovi has seen changes over the years. I remember it being just a worse Nova, but at the moment it's become better than it. It's dumb and very easy to play thanks to its insane agility, maybe the overall most agile creature in the game. It turns very quickly, jumps high and is very fast. Its basic bite 5-shots humans unlike Nova which 4-shots them, but that's not really an issue as the attacks are quite fast. Its pawns also kills humans very quickly. This makes Ovi the more brain-dead option of the two for low-rank pawn spammers. Its roar reveals enemies to it and marks mines. It marks low-health humans with a red outline, so the player can go in and just kill them. Then rinse and repeat. This is basically Ovi gameplay loop and how the best Ovi players get high KDA. There's not much to it. For being really effective at what it does, almost too effective, since the low ranks can easily play this and get results, Ovi goes into the S tier. Moving on to Speeders, the last dinosaur class. Starting off with the Dilo, this is in my opinion a sleeper OP dino. Speeders have the naturally smallest hitbox, they're the smallest in frames, and so they're the hardest to hit. They pay the price with the lowest HPs in the game, but this is not that much of a problem if a player can kite. Which isn't hard, you basically just jump around and twist your body to bite shots and make yourself as hard to hit as possible. Dilo works so well because of the damage over time it has. This is a strong mechanic in the game that not many things have. Especially against humans who have 150 HP, besides of course Pyro at 180. Which by the way Dilo counters as it can extinguish itself and other dinos that are on fire. Furthermore it can blind humans, dealing about 20 damage and allowing it to get a couple free bites in, paired with the damage over time that can secure you a kill. One successful blind. It's crazy that this playable is slept on. Sometimes you can just run in with your team, bite a lot of people and watch the kills come in after damage over time kicks in. This also grants you assists as well. I can go on and on about this thing's insane utility, as it also has the roar ability that completely refreshes its whole stamina from zero. It shares that with the Cryo. This basically gives you all of the abilities to be useful and outplay the opponents. You just need to be able to use them, which really isn't that hard. Dilo enters the S tier. Compared to other stuff that's in there, it actually proves a well-deserved S tier that's not just broken overtuned bullshit. Good dino, learn it and kill everyone. Cryo is the last dino that's left. It has 280 HP, lowest in the game. For the longest time this has been a pretty worthless dino that was just played on roofs, where you can speed someone safely from. Changes it received made it able to step out of the uninteractive niche, for better or worse. This dino is now able to charge up the amount of acid it spits out. Dilo can do that too. This makes for a bigger AoE attack. Cryo speed does more damage than Dilo speed. It creates an acid pool that stays on the ground for a bit. A few cryos can make it hell for humans to try and shelter at some building. They speed at medkits and spots where the humans have to walk through for guaranteed damage. The speed however remains a bit clunky to try and hit, especially at longer range. However, since the changes, Cryo can also see some success playing at close range. It has disgusting one-shot potential when it charges more speed, as that also increases the damage that speed deals. This doesn't take away all of its stamina, which means it can follow up with another speed. It can also obviously bite, you see where I'm heading with this. In a 1v1 situation, if the Cryo hits everything, it can effectively kill you extremely quickly. This is rarely seen in TDM, as only the best cryo players pull it off consistently, and the thing isn't popular whatsoever. When it is played, it's usually just annoying roof campers. Nevertheless, the cryo is a unique pick that requires you to think a lot and can be versatile. You can decide when to go in and when to stay at a distance and speed at people. 8 tier is surprisingly strong.